Hi, this is Terry Lee, and this is the next video in our series on making this photo album, which I can't reach. Here we go. Sorry about that, folks. Which is this photo album, and you can see how we made this section in the first video, but there's the flip through as well, so you can see all the parts of this. Now, in this video, we are going to, now this is going to be the last video that I have one ahead of time because I didn't like this video, as you remember, so I remade it, and that's how we ended up with this one that looks just like that one, except it doesn't have this on it, and this is what we're going to do in this video. Now, if we didn't have to kind of nitpick around to make this little closure, we probably could have done more in this video, but for some reason this description seems to take me longer than it should. So this is what it's going to look like when we're done. It's going to have the little closure on it, and then this is going to flip out like this. I'm going to have a tuck spot, a place to stick a picture in here. Plus, we're going to have, where'd it go? I don't have anything ready, I guess. Then we'll have this tuck spot here. And then I'm going to buy some of those little clear photo corners, and I'm going to include them with the photo album so the person can put pictures in places, but I'm not going to set them on there because I don't know how big the pictures are, and I don't want to restrict the person I give it to a certain size photo in a certain area, if there could be, multiple different sizes that they might want to put in there. And then on this part here, there's the spot to go inside, and then there's also a tuck spot. Okay, so that's what we're going to do this time. So what you're going to need is one business envelope for the first part. We're going to make the flip out, so we need one business envelope. We're going to need a black marker, and just like in not like in the first video, I use these Bianyo, B-I-A-N-Y-O markers. You can get them on Amazon. They're alcohol markers, so they're a little bit more. You can use a Sharpie if you want. You can use paint if you want. If you want to use construction paper and make a piece like we did up here, a small piece just to slide in, you could do that. Make two of those and stick them in there. So there's a couple different ways you can do that part. I found it easier just to color it, especially since I just matched it black to match, the music and whatever. Black went well. Okay, and then we're also going to need a 1-inch hole punch to punch out the thumb holes. Okay, so now this is not hard. I picked out these papers to go with this. This is the this is the other part of this paper, and then this is the same paper. See, it's the same picture, only it's the one with the music on it. So it's like the variation. The gold is lighter and it has music on it. I don't know if you can tell because the music's in light gray. And then I decided to use the, like on this here, I used the light colored music page, which is the same as this darker one, only obviously it is light colored. So I figured that way it was all coordinated, but it wasn't exactly the same. Okay, so that's what we're going to use, and this is all out of that same kit. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is, just like in the first video, we're going to seal the envelope shut. We're going to trim the ends. And that'll make an open tube again. Oh, why am I saying again? It's because I'm remembering from the first video, or the first time I did this video. Sorry about that. I'm going to trim the ends off right where the... Let me show you. I have a lot of business envelopes laying over here. Right here, where this little fold over is, where it makes the envelope sealed. We're going to cut it off right there with the lid. I keep saying that with the flap closed. Oh, we did do that on this one when we made the little envelope. I remember doing this before with you guys. Okay, now this time we are going to cut the envelope to 8 inches long instead of 6. So we're not cutting that much off. Yes, these are too small of envelope pieces. I am actually throwing those scraps away. So now, once again, you've ended up with a tube that you can see through. Hello. Anyway, yes, it's early in the morning again. I've had quite a bit of coffee and I'm a bit punchy again. I think I'm going to have to quit doing them this early so I don't have to keep telling you how punchy I am. Okay, so we're going to take the scoreboard, and this time we're going to score it at 4.5. We're going to fold it. Now this time, instead of just putting it straight on there, we're going to glue one part on 3 sides again, but not the whole across. We are going to make a section. Am I looking at this backwards? I am. So I numbered it backwards. So now I'm going to have to go back and change it on the PDF. Okay. So, yep, because it's going to go this way. So this is 1, and then that can be 2, and that can be 3. 2 and 3. It's craziness. So this time we are, this time instead of putting it in the center, we're going to put it on the side over here like this, and it's going to flap over, and the longer side is going to be on the top. You know what it is I already have typed out for the next 2 videos, and so I keep thinking I've done it before only because I've done it before in my head this morning. Okay, and then we're going to mark this with an X, except we're going to make a tuck spot. So we only want to glue this side and the bottom. Okay, so we're only going to glue this side and then the bottom. But the big X means we don't need to worry about putting paper on it. Okay, so now we're going to need to cut out our papers, and we're going to need 2 pieces the same for the front and the back of this one. So these are going to be 4.5 by 4 1/8. Okay, so we're going to need 1 piece, 2 pieces, 4.5 by 4 1/8. And the papers are going to be this white music, if you're using the same kit that I'm using. So we want one piece at, let's do it this way, 4.5. I don't know if I just said 1, but we need 2 by 4 1/8. We should be able to get both out of this. 4 1/8. Okay, I thought I cut it wrong. How big is this? Nope, it's not quite. This is 4. Wonder if we can get by with 4. You know, we can, because we want to leave it back a little bit for the fold. And when we do this like this, it looks like we can make it line up and make it work. Okay, so we better number these. Number 1, number 2, And then and set them to the side, because you know what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to ink our little hearts out. And then number 3 is going to be 3.5 by the 4 1/8. And that's going to be our flower. Oh, actually, I did do it wrong. So I didn't want the music on both sides. I wanted the music over here. But the smaller one, can be cut down to 3.5 by 4 1/8. So this is the 4 1/8. This is the 4 1/8. Well, 4 1/16. It's if we got 4 1/8 here, and at least 3.5 here. Yeah, we can still use it. Let's do it this way. 4 1/8. Yeah, 4 1/8. Scrap. Keep it. I know it's small. You know why? Because at the end, I take all my scraps that are left and I make a collage. I'll show you at the in the next video, because I can't reach the collages. They're on the wall. I can't reach one of them with the mic on. Okay, so now we've got this the right size for that. No, we don't. Because I'll bet this is not 3.5 on this one. Let's measure it here. No, it's the right height, but it's too long. Well, this isn't quite 3.5. It's 3. A little less than 3.5. It's not even enough. The little lines are so small, I don't even want to try to read them. So this is our vertical measurement. This is going to be 3. This is our vertical. Just so I know I'm not cutting off the wrong one. And the horizontal, it's going to go this way to be right side up. And the horizontal is going to be here. Yes, I know I'm using a pen and not a pencil. I can't reach the pencil either. I'm going to cut it off. Well, at least you know why we left extra time. We need time. So then we need to cut this one. Oops, keep that scrap. So now we need to cut this one at 4.5 by 4 1/8. The 4 1/8 is the vertical. I want to cut it this way. So we want it to be, well, I'm going to have to pause. Got a timer going off. Okay, now that we're back, that was my alarm going off to remind me to watch Carol Tinson's live class. It's on a Sunday morning here. So I want to make sure that this rose stays in this upper corner. So I'm going to take my pen, because when I walked away to turn off the timer, I forgot to get my pencil. And I'm trying to see the line where the fold is. So I want to cut it here. And I want to cut it here. That's where I want to cut it. Now where I will cut it, as you know, is up for question. I'm going to cut this paper, and then before we take our actual scheduled commercial break to do all of our inking, I will show you the collage because I did remember to go get that. Now, the original photo album, as I told you, was made from Inky Flowers by JaneyBJournals on Etsy. And when I had the scraps left over, and I had to print out several copies of each photo or each page in the kit, and because we have all these small cuts, I had a lot of scraps left over. And so this is an open manila folder. I don't know if you can see the whole thing, but this is the collage I made out of the leftover pieces from this one. So this is why you save your scraps. Even if you think they're too small to use, you can use them in your after project collage. Okay, so now we have our piece for here. Okay, we have our piece for here. We have our piece for here. Oh, we do need a skinny piece for our tuck spot. So just pick any scrap you want that you have that you think might not be big enough to use for something else. Oh, that's too light. Anyway, I'll find a scrap, you find a scrap. Oh, here we go. There we go. I'll use that. That might even be almost what I used on the first one. So I'll just cut this to the height, and then I'll have this to use as the tuck spot. So we're going to take our regularly scheduled commercial break. We're going to ink everything up, and when we come back in just a second, then we will finish and we will do our little closure. Okay? All right. Hi, we're back after our little commercial break. Are we all inked up and ready to go? Okay, now I did have to redo this one because I noticed that the music was upside down. Now, maybe to you, the music going sideways would be all right because the flap goes that way. That's totally up to you. But anybody who knows me knows that that was driving me crazy. So the other thing that I'm not real pleased about is I didn't think about how thin the envelopes are. So when I colored the inside, well, first I colored the wrong side, but beyond that, when I colored the inside, enough of the ink bled through that it kind of is obscuring my red inking around the edge. So I'll have to wait and see. Once I glue it together, we'll do it all for the video, and then off camera I may make another one and just use a piece of black, you know, construction paper like a kid would use to, yeah, see, I missed a spot, like a kid would use to, you know, play around with. I don't know why these expensive markers appear to be drying out. It's driving me nuts, that little spot. The reason we have to cover it, or I have to cover it, is because I don't want to see the security thing inside the envelope. Okay, so let's, I paper clipped everything in so I didn't do them upside down. But now I have to take the paper clips off. Actually, I can paper clip this way. I just don't want that flower upside down, and I don't want this music upside down. That's going to get in the way. So we're going to glue these on. I don't know why I did this on camera. I guess I could have done this off camera too. There's a gnat. Now there's not. Now he's not a gnat. He's a knot. All right, that was another really bad joke. You guys have got to start calling me on these because I'll just keep doing them if you guys don't make me stop. All right, glue. I can't wait till I can fill this glue bottle. Are you guys tired of hearing me complain about the glue? probably. It's not very much, is it? I'm making this one as a gift, this second one. This time I'm not going to say who it's to. When I made the stationery kit, I made the mistake of saying it was for my pen pal. So she knew ahead of time that it was coming and it was supposed to be a surprise. So it was a non-surprise surprise. The only surprise was when she saw it in person and actually got to see it. And she could decide if she liked it, which she did. All right. So now I want to do this flower this way. I could use my Aleene's or Aleene's. I have some of that, but it doesn't dry that quick. And on video, we need to move right on to the next thing. So I kind of like to use the Fabrifix because even though it's paper on paper and you don't necessarily need it, but do want it to dry fairly quickly so we can move on to the next thing. And I hope you're gluing along with me and not just sitting there and having to watch me glue. Like I said, I'm not really sure why I didn't just go ahead and glue it on. The only thing we really need to do together is gluing the envelope onto the, you know, if I didn't stand it up, it would be closer, wouldn't it? All right, music right side up. Put it on the envelope. All that noise in the background, my brand new computer, the one I posted the picture of. Oh, and I love it. I just love it. I only installed the basic software that I need so that it's running super fast still. And the coolest thing is that it has an Android app that allows me to text and talk on the phone, my phone, through my computer. So that's what you're hearing, is me getting notifications on my phone, and my phone is in the other room. Anyway, okay, now we're going to glue this on here to make our flap. Actually, you know what? Why don't we make our thumb holes first? That'll be easier to do if it's not on the... So you're going to... There are little arrows on the sides that show you halfway. So you can make a thumb hole and not a hole. And there's a little arrow, and I know you can't see it. I don't know why I'm trying to show it to you, but there's a little arrow here that shows the center. You know, it'd be easier for me if I did mark it with a black marker. Then I could see it better. So you just put it into what the halfway mark, and then you end up with that nice little thumb hole. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing here. Halfway, and it doesn't have to line up with the other one, but I do kind of want both of them to be pretty much centered. So now on this, we're only going to glue it on this side and the bottom, and that way that will allow us to have a tuck spot. Oh, I guess I heard you can put a little bit of acetone in here and it will thin it up enough to make it run better. Oh, it seems to be doing better. I guess laying it on the side when it gets low is a good thing to do. Rolls around. Okay, so we're going to stick it on here. Just like that. Now when it opens, we have this tuck spot. We have this spot to put a picture in here. We have this spot to put a picture in here. We have a spot to put a picture on the front. And we have a spot to put a picture on the back. Okay, so moving on. We're going to do the little closures. The little closures like this. So what you need for this is you're going to need a pointy tool if you want to pay for the one by We Are Memory Keepers, or you can just use your awl, AWL, that you use when you make books. And you're going to need, oh, I have it all sitting right here. You're going to need let me move this out of the way now. You're going to need a piece of ephemera, like a tag, a little bitty tag. And we're going to cut the part off that makes it look like a tag. Make it into a rectangle. Then we're going to cut that in half. We need 2 tabs. We're going to need one for the front cover. Whenever I do this, I always end up cutting my finger. Okay, so now we've got 2. Set that to the side. And now, you know all those scraps I make you keep? Now they're going to come in handy. All right, so what we need is a base. We need a base. This is the base, the square part for it to sit on, and that gives us the height. And then we need this, and this needs to be reinforced. In fact, if you can see, this one's curving up a little bit because it could have been a little bit stronger, and it's too late to take it off now and reinforce it. So I'm going to have to live with it. I don't want you to have to live with it, so we're going to make sure we do it enough. Now, the base underneath the oh, and you're going to need this little guy here, which is called a brad. And when you turn it upside down, it has the 2 little legs that open, and it's like the closure on one of those brown 9x12 folders that you, or envelopes that you mail stuff in. It's that type of closure. All right, so we're going to need a base. I'm going to need, I think, a little bit more. And you just cut a square, and you just want to keep it to a size that looks good for the size closure that you're using. So I'm going to glue another square on here. Make it a little bit thicker. Now you don't want this top one to be too thick, because you're going to have to poke a hole through it. And we're going to glue this on it. You want a piece of decorative paper to glue on the top that matches your color scheme, so it's going to be a scrap from your kit to cover up this cream color. Now for the bottom half that gives us the height, it doesn't matter because it's going to be glued under here, and I'll show you in just a second. So let's glue this on. I think I might have just made this one too thick for the top one, because I forgot I was using manila folders and not cardstock. Okay. If you make this top little decorative one a little bit bigger, then it will hide the whole thing. All right. Once you make this, then you're going to need to make a base. The easiest way to do that is to cut the one out the size you want, and then use it as a template to cut some more. You know why I'm trying so hard to be under the camera? I bet you guys have cut stuff before. I usually try to cut more than I need. Besides that, we're going to need 2. I'm only going to show you how to make 1 on camera, but you're going to need 2. Because when I filmed this the first time and it turned out like I didn't like it, the video, not the project, I already had made it and stuck it on, so I don't actually need 2. I think maybe 1 more for that bottom base. Get it up a little higher and less chance of that, bending up. And then we're going to have to cut the piece that's the same size as the actual little tab. This little tab here that we're using. This time I'm going to use 2 and not just 1 to reinforce it. I think my dog's gonna start barking. I'll just have my Alexa yell at him. Alright, this underside one can be a little bit smaller, just like on this side, because you're not going to see it at all. So we'll glue all this together, save our scrap. I'm going to quit saying that, since you guys know. I mean, I will in the first video of every series, in case you're new and you don't know that I use paper clips on everything. And that I keep saying save your scraps. Oh. Hi, Oz. Oz has decided to come in here and visit. Which is good, because that means he's being a good boy. Good boy, no barking. Alright, now I'm waiting a coon's age for it to come out, and now a whole bunch came out. This is the good side of my board, so that you guys can see the other side. It actually looked like an abstract painting, and so I painted it white, and then I hated it and wished I had my abstract painting look. Okay, so now you can see that's thicker, and it's more reinforced. Yeah, you know, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to make it too thick. So the next thing you want to do, these two pieces are going to be on top before we glue these on the bottom. And that's because when we put this through and then open it up, we want to cover this, plus we want to build up the height. So now we're going to decide where we want the hole, because we're going to have to put that brad in so it can swing. So we're going to take our pokey tool, as a lot of people call them. Ow. And you want to make the hole big enough, because these brads are kind of wide. All right, the part that goes through. And if you don't make the hole big enough, then the tab won't be able to swing. And I'm making a little bit bigger. You don't want it too big, because you want it to stay where you put it. But you want it to, oh, you have to make the same hole in the middle, though, in the middle of this. Okay. We'll have a shish kebab when this is done. All right, so you're going to take the brad, you're going to close the little legs, you're going to put it through the hole. Then you're going to put them through this hole, this one. You're going to double check and make sure that it can turn. See, that one's not turning too well. Maybe if I work it around a little bit, that seems better. Then you're going to open the little legs. Oh, that's why. Now let me check again. You see, when I pushed this through, it pushed the manila folder part through because the hole wasn't quite big enough. Okay, that still seems all right. So now you're going to open them up. Make sure they're as flat as possible. I think We Are Memory Keepers makes a thing so you don't have to use your fingers and make your little finger go like that. Have you seen that tardic dyskinesia thing on TV? Okay, now we're going to glue some of these together real quick and make a base. And the reason it doesn't matter that this isn't covered is because as long as it's smaller than this, you won't see it. Or the same size or smaller. Let me check that and see. I put quite a few on the top one. So what you want to do is you want to put it on your piece here and measure and see if it's going to hold it down. Yeah, I really wish I had made this one more thick. I think I'm going to, but I'm not going to take it all apart to do that on camera. So what you would normally do, these are glued together. And you want to cover this up plus glue this to here. All right, so you're just going to glue this on here to cover it up and secure it. And then if you've got the right height, if everything goes well and you've got the right height, then you just glue the whole thing. Once you've glued these two together, you glue the whole thing down and you end up with this. Okay? All right. So the only thing we have left to do, which is something I forgot to do, is to glue the tuck spot on the front here. Sorry about that. You guys are probably yelling there in video land. Hey, what about the tuck spot? All right, now we only want to glue this on 3 sides. Put your fingers on the side you don't want to glue. And if you start gluing your fingers to the paper, then you know you're gluing the wrong side. Another bad joke. Oh my gosh. Put down in the comments whether you think my bad jokes are really bad and you want me to stop. Now all the comments are going to be, stop making bad jokes. All right, so now we've got that glued down. I'm going to fix mine so it doesn't curl up like this one did. So this is definitely a case of do as I say and not as I do. So I'm going to take it apart. Take the brad out. In case this happens to you, you'll know what to do. Take this apart, take the brad out, and put another couple pieces of manila folder that are this size and glue them on, and then stick this back together, glue this on, just like I showed you, and then you'll have it. Okay? All right, well that's it for this part, and I will see you in the next video. And that will be a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.